Hey everyone, it's Father Sean here with the daily reflection on April 11th, and it's Holy Saturday today, which is one of the just kind of it's a very unique day throughout the church year. It's actually one that I kind of always look forward to, and it's for this very specific reason. So in the church, we the all the priests, religious, all those pray the liturgy of the hours, and so the liturgy of the hours has a long reading that each of us read each day. There's a long scripture reading, but then a long reading that normally comes from like a saint or the fathers of the church. And the one for Holy Saturday, I always look forward to because it's this very like dramatic reading or this dramatic interpretation as to what happens on Holy Saturday. And it's this meditation on the part of the creed that we say Christ descended into hell, that Christ went into Hades, into Sheol, as the Jewish people called it, to the realm of the dead, basically. And it's this beautiful meditation on what that interaction was like what it meant for Christ to go to the realm of the dead. And I just want to read a little bit from that reading. And so this is part of it. Today, a great silence reigns on earth, a great silence and a great stillness. A great silence because the king is asleep. The earth trembled and is still because God has fallen asleep in the flesh, and he has raised up all who have slept ever since the world began. He has gone to search for Adam, our first father, as for a lost sheep, greatly desiring to visit those who live in darkness and in the shadow of death. He has gone to free from sorrow Adam in his bonds and Eve, captive with him, he who is both their God and the son of Eve. I am your God, who for your sake have become your son. I order you, O sleeper, to awake. I did not create you to be a prisoner in hell. Rise from the dead, for I am the life of the dead. And so it's this message that Christ comes to bring to Adam, who's waited for years for the undoing of his sin through Christ. And so now that time has come as Christ goes to the underworld to give this incredible message of hope, this incredible light, this undoing of the sin of Adam. And then it goes on, and it's the Son of God sleeps and descends, and hell trembles. Because now the victory is won. Now the victory of God has risen. And so it's this great thing. So it gives us so much to talk about this lengthy hopelessness that Adam experienced. And now he's been awakened by Christ. And you think of maybe this is something that when this whole quarantine's over, it'll be something similar for us. That as we be able to experience the joy of the resurrection, the joy of new life, that Christ enters into sometimes for us these weeks feels like an underworld that will be awakened from it, that will be raised from this darkness. And just one last thought, or maybe just maybe this will happen one day. I one time saw an interview with Mel Gibson. Of course, Mel Gibson famously wrote and directed and produced the movie The Passion of the Christ. And actually, I watched it yesterday evening after Stations of the Cross. And it's just a powerful film. But anyways, Mel Gibson was being interviewed, and he said he was working on a sequel. And he was talking to Stephen Colbert, who was on Stephen Colbert's show. And Stephen Colbert is a Catholic man. I think he teaches CCD at his parish. But he said, well, what would the movie be about? And Mel Gibson turned it into a quiz show and says, well, what happens? What's the creed say? And he said, well, he was born of the Virgin Mary, suffered under Pontius Pilate, was crucified, died, and was buried. He descended into hell and rose again on the third day. And so Mel Gibson kind of hinted that his sequel to the Passion of the Christ would be the descent of Christ into the underworld. And it's like, man, if that would be a fascinating movie. So anyways, just who knows, maybe one day we'll get to watch that and see this dramatic movement of Christ as he frees those first people, those first our ancestors in the faith. So anyways, that's it for Holy Saturday. Of course, tonight we celebrate the great solemn Easter Vigil. Get to hear the Exalted, probably not as good as it should be done, but the joy of the resurrection nonetheless. So God bless. May you have a peaceful Holy Saturday, one which you can wait outside the tomb with Christ for the glorious day of the resurrection. God bless.